welcome to the Dragon's Tome. My name's Jack. This is Rob. This is Chopper. And what we've been doing for the last little bit is going through Dragon Magazine. We're started at 1. We're going to go as far as this long, winding road takes us, chronological order, and we're just going to we're going to creep. We're going to lurk through the pages and see what piques our interest. Thank you for joining us. Guys, how's it going? You ready to do this?
Yes.
Yes.
The excitement was palpable. Our audience at home, did you feel it? It was electric. They're with me on this journey. I threw it out there, and
we're just trying to bring your time down. You know, we can't keep doing hour-and-a-half shows.
Speaking of time, I was looking ahead to eventually it gets obviously this all gets sold to Wizards of the Coast, and then Paizo actually runs Dragon for a while. I wonder at what point we'll be like, oh, this is terrible. It's just a house organ.
Let's see if we can figure it out.
Because I was like, really? Eventually it's going to be like 200 issues of us going, wow, this is terrible. So
yeah, where it doesn't spark joy anymore, and we're just like going through.
It's not nostalgia anymore. Yeah,
it's not nostalgia. Yeah. It's true.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Right.
I'm curious to see what happens.
Yes.
Keep an eye out when you see our souls die.
And leave a message when you say that's when your soul died.
Yeah. Tell us when okay, that's it, guys. Time to quit.
Yeah. You tell us.
Somebody will be like, this episode? Oh, ouch. 125.
If you do that, I would thumbs up that comment. If you do come into and post that, I will go in thumbs up.
He'll go in, make an account.
Yes.
Join YouTube.
Just to give a thumbs up.
Just for that one thumbs up. Okay, this is episode. This is magazine edition 125. Look at that bad boy. $3.50 well spent.
Still $3.50. I was surprised it didn't go up yet.
Yeah.
What do you think of the artwork?
It's Roger Rapp or Rope. It's King Arthur. It's a historically correct. He researched everything like from the
these weapons. That's right. I remember saying that. I remember reading this a long time ago that these weapons were historically correct to sword.
Yeah.
The armor. Hadrian's Wall. I didn't say Adrian. Hadrian's Wall.
Adrian. Yeah. Interesting.
It took me a while to figure out what was going on because I guess the guy on the ground is supposed to be King Arthur. But he's got so much gold on, I can't figure out where his arms were going.
Oh, you guys did a lot more looking into it than I did. I was just going to go,
there's a blurb.
There's a blurb.
There is always a blurb. I cannot say for certain that I check it even 50% of the time.
I check it always because I have to find out who the artiste was. So.
Yeah, especially if you can't find the signature or recognize the signature.
But it's well done. It's a good picture.
Yeah.
I feel like this era is my era of the Dragon. This is very Dragon cover. It's very
This
is where I start to fade from the scene.
See, when I come in, Pat leaves.
I'm not this month. I'm not even in Illinois anymore.
No, Pat, no.
It's true.
Okay, well, we'll lament Pat's moving out of Illinois in the late 80s by going to our first article. Who wants to go first? I guess again.
You're in charge. You have to choose.
You nominate every episode. You've nominated us.
Neither of us are wearing red, I don't think. Oh, wait. Do I have red on my shirt? No, I don't. It's black and white Akira shirt.
I have red.
Oh, damn Cubs win again.
At interactivity and they look at you. They look at me like I'm a bowl of oatmeal.
Blink.
Okay, Patrick. Let's do your first article.
Let's get this ball rolling for Jack.
Let's actually get into the show.
12.
All joking aside.
Oh, you're starting right off with the Ecology?
Yeah.
Usually you save it.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot here for me.
And this is even a Greenwood. It's a Findley.
Yeah. It's the next couple ones are not Greenwood. It's been a while since he wrote it.
Well, it's because he's busy doing Forgotten Realms. He doesn't have time.
Of course. So here we have the Ecology of the Green Hag. It's an okay story about how green hags, and it kind of gives the ecology in the story. It gives very little notes uh, in there. Um, but I guess green hags are children of a night hag and a human or demi-human. So, and they're born in swamps.
I didn't know they could mate.
Well, the night hags do. The night hags they mate. Well, mate is the wrong word. They forcibly love someone,
They make
and
people love them.
yeah, and so they stay in Hades until while they're most of they're pregnant until it's time to give birth, where they come back to the prime material plane and they give birth to the baby and they just abandon the baby. But the kids are always female, it says, and babies are pretty much self-sufficient and able to fend for themselves at birth, and they grow to full maturity by 18 months. So they're fairly, since they're only half night hag, they don't get as strong of a magic resistance and all the cool spells like the night hag would have. So they get a diluted amount. And giants and ettins like to take these green hags as their brides, and then they become like the queen of a hill giant clan or whatever. And
What an odd family tree.
yeah, it's a weird
Now,
roundabout.
what's the offspring of a hag and an Eden, or a green hag and an Eden?
It's an anise, I think they called it.
Ooh.
Annis.
Anise. It's a
Yeah,
licorice plant.
something like that. But
Odd.
Well,
yeah, so I mean, they're neutral evil and they like to bully things. So when they
Just like Jack.
when they kind of mate with a chieftain, an ogre, or a hill giant, they kind of just bully everyone else in the hill tribe.
Just like
So-
Jack.
Just like
so
Jack.
the picture that's in the, on full display might not be the attack of someone that I had anticipated, but now with context might be.
It might be a courting ritual.
Yeah, it might be foreplay.
But after in the story, I'm sure this is the guy in the story who gets killed last.
Don't worry,
Oh.
I'll kill you last.
Yeah,
I lied.
yeah. Slowly.
What year is that? That's probably around this time. Maybe a little earlier.
Commando?
I think it's earlier.
I think it was 85.
Yeah,
You'll never know.
No idea.
If
Put
you
it
know
in the
when
comments.
Commando came out, yep, put it in the comments.
Yes. If you know Sully, tell us. We'll kill you last. But that's it. The ecology. It's an arcade ecology. I mean, the story is okay. Still not a Greenwood. And I mean, all the information that you normally get is in the story. And the notes are more for D&D information than anything else.
Perfect. Okie dokie. Rob, what's your first article?
We'll go back to page 5. We got
Wow.
a editorial by Mr. Roger E. Moore. It's called Myths, and it's pretty much he's comparing this satanic panic to like UFOs, cryptids, and other conspiracy theories. It says that it'll pass into obscurity like everything else has. And I have to say, is sadly everything old is new again. So except we're all about the UFOs and the cryptids right now. So maybe and conspiracy theories. So maybe satanic panic's not far behind. So gird your loins, everyone. Prepare for
This-
a lot of pearl clutching.
This was also mine article, and it was 3 instances in his life in which his young life when he was kind of fooled by a bit of a mass hysteria, and they were like kind of quaint stories that like anyone could have. And then he ties it in with, so I can see why people think that if you play D&D you can get mind control powers and that you can do these other things because
I like to think in September of 87 that we were past all that.
I guess it's not. There must have been something that just came out because he seems to be responding to something.
Because I seem to remember this is the time when Tipper Gore starts to go after music instead.
Yeah, but there is I think it's called Dark Passages or something like that. A book comes out. It might have been this year, where it's that's where the mind control thing comes in. Before that was never part of it. This mind control thing where they're like, because supposedly in the book, the D&D player mind controlled his father to let him play D&D or something like that, and it's like very odd. But yeah, so I think it's a little the last spurts of the Satanic Panic at this point, where people are just trying to get their last bit of money out of it, and it's also the big downslide of role playing games. So we need the Satanic Panic to get some money back into the system.
Yeah, we need to make it taboo so people want to play it.
Yeah,
but I think the article goes into not vilifying people who are doing that kind of thing, but also playing whack-a-mole. Like, yeah, when this pops up, I got to kind of knock it back down, or before it gets too out of hand.
Yeah, and they're not. He's kind of, like you say, he's kind of make them out to be almost bumpkins or children. It's like, yeah, I used to believe this when I was stupid and young. Like, he's not outright saying these people are idiots, but he's saying, yeah, it's things that are silly when you think about it when you're an adult, which is true.
Right. Because there's a term. There's a monster, local legend.
I like that
monster,
little story. It's a fun story.
And
I think I've heard of that monster.
Everyone gets scared when one of his buddies pulls a prank while they're driving underneath an overpass, and it's like, yeah, we've all been there. So it's not outrageous. These people aren't treat them with a little bit of kindness, anyways.
Well, yeah. I think it's a good way to knock them down. Okay, yeah. So that's
knocked down.
Roger E. Moore.
Well, you stole my second one, so I still have my first. So if you would indulge me, we'll go to page 66 of the PDF.
66.
Yes, order 66. We're going to go to the Bazaar of the Bazaar.
I always rely on one of you two to grab these ones.
Yeah, and I always rely on Jack to grab it. So.
One day our whole plan will fail when one of you don't do it.
It will unravel.
We'll all be pointing at each other like a Spider-Man meme going, that's you. What? I left it. What? Yeah.
Yeah, the maps, a bunch of maps, which is fun.
Lee Ian Wern. These are the maps of Greyhawk, and it is a vast number of maps.
That's a lot.
Most of them have overlaps in what they do and how they do it. There's a couple cursed ones. But for the most part, they start with the most basic, like maps that map for you, so that you
map of mapping.
And it goes on to map of mapping ands, so it's like map and mapping. So it shows you, the map will show you as it's mapping. Oh, there's a secret door, or there's one that shows you where magic is.
I want a map to show me where all the Cracker Barrels are.
I want a map that shows me where more maps are.
I've the map of map mapping.
Yeah. Jack, are you just about to say you've never been to a Cracker Barrel?
Yeah, I've never been to a Cracker Barrel.
It's because you never go to Gen Con with us. You got to come. Well, good things. I'm not sure about that, but it's an event.
I mean, they taste good, but it's probably not good for your body.
I heard the catfish was amazing.
We always get breakfast.
Oh, well, maybe that's your problem. You're not getting the amazing catfish.
We're going at very early on the way to Gen Con. It's when we go to.
Well, if I ever get an invite to Gen Con, then I will.
Look at his face.
it'll be breakfast will be on me that day. So we go to maps of traps and stuff, and then they get some of cursed ones that it maps incorrectly.
So it's like just let the player do it.
Yeah, that's right. We've all been there when you.
Let me see the map at the end. And you're like, wow, that looks nothing like what you have.
We're trying to leave, and what the heck? Who wrote this?
Or it's like, why is this map circling around on itself?
Well, that's why I resort to bubble mapping now.
And there's one that gives you outside terrain situations, the same, like it maps out for you, but then there's also ones that make everything just look different. And when someone reads your map, they think reality looks like the way you mapped it. So
that's scary.
It was a interesting There's a lot of maps, and they were all quite interesting, and I could see someone using them in their campaign.
Neat. That's the beauty of the bazaar of the bazaar.
Yes.
Bazaar of the bazaar. How
How
bizarre.
bizarre.
Oh. Okay, so Pat, what's your
Okay, let's go
second
to page 32
For your first one?
32?
for my first
Stop
article.
it. Stop it. If you two have more than two in this magazine that taught me that knights suck and that they're the worst possible,
It
boring.
wasn't the best article, that's for sure. And I don't only have,
I,
I have not very many, but I have
Being a
just,
knight means
ah,
the
save it.
burden of home ownership and
Save it.
looking out after
We'll get there.
people.
We'll get there.
this one's Armies from the Ground Up. It's a fairly long article on the guidelines on taxes, diplomacy, and militaries as a ruler. I kind of wonder if this article is prompted because now, if you've been doing it right, your players are fairly high levels.
And battle systems
probably
out,
not.
which is
Yeah, and
which
probably
is kind
not.
of
Uh,
doing worlds.
but in short run of this article, it goes over lightly on domestic and foreign policies. It literally has foreign policies that, as a leader, you could take or work, and gives bonuses on if you're running that policy.
I choose belligerent complacency. Can I do that? I want to combine a couple.
Yeah, I would like belligerent aggressiveness. Passive complacency is also a good one because then you just don't get anything. Where else I was going with this? Oh yeah, and then it also then tells you how to tax your people and how to raise an army and the different types of troops that are at disposal as a monarch, starting with the peasant. What are they called? The feared, or forward, or feared, or something like that, up to militia, and then there's some kind of weird yeomanry that I've never even heard of.
I heard of it because I went to York University, and our football team was called a yeoman, which is always a joke because yeomen are just like serfs. Like we were always like, you understand what yeoman means, right?
Yeah,
They were idiots.
all the way up
It was
to
the only Y word they could figure out.
all the way up to auxiliaries and mercenaries and things like that. It even has a section on growth and expansion, how you can grow and expand your area other than taking over land.
By cultural expansion,
Yeah,
culture bombs.
culture bombs, land grabbing. All the good tried and true expansionist ideas.
Cultists.
Cultists. But all in all, this is a fairly lengthy article. It's like 5 pages, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of scrolling.
Unless you're into this kind of management in role playing, this article I don't feel like is relevant at all in D&D.
It seems like it takes a lot of work.
It does. And reading this, though, it looks like these are the building blocks for the birthright campaign system that comes out a little bit later on down the line, fairly soon for second edition.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, we see that a lot in Dragon articles where it'll be like, oh, this is like, it put a seed in someone's brain to be like, okay, I could do this into a whole book, and then a book comes out from TSR.
Birthright for a little bit, and the guy who was running it, in each one of all of the player characters, I think there was 5 of us. We all were a ruler of a monarchy, and then we had to dictate our policies, almost just like what this thing was. And it was all right, but Birthright never grabbed onto us, and we just soon abandoned it because this is not the kind of game.
You want to be slashing some orcs, not.
I mean, there's things you could do, and he was able to do it where we had to all gather as a thing,
like councils,
as a council, and then there was some kind of adventure we had to do to some kind of relic we needed to find or something. But then here we are, 5 guys, and there are 100 knights following them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird. It's a weird way to role play, and it wasn't my shtick. I'm sure it's someone's shtick because they made the game.
Oh, I'm sure it's people like this, but yeah, it's not my thing either.
Yeah, so I included it just because I thought this might be the beginnings and the ideas of Birthright.
Sounds like it.
Well, didn't do nothing for me. So I'm going to have to put my foot down and say we're moving on.
Okay. Not hurt my feelings with this one.
Okay, well, since Robert swooped in and snagged my second, I'm going to offer up my slot to someone who has a.
It's my
Does
turn.
anyone does have the bold brashness, the audacity to have a third?
This isn't my third. It's my second. I haven't even done two yet. Jesus, Jack. We make the joke the other way, and you trying to steal my second article.
This bit is getting old, Rob.
It's only my second article.
Okay.
Or going to page 20.
I'll let you.
Page 20.
The Code of Chivalry orders the knighthood in AD&D game. By Mark Easterday. He pretty much takes what's in Unearthed Arcana for the Cavalier and redoes it for all different knights and fighters and paladins to make chivalric orders for AD&D. And yeah, it's pretty much a bunch of rules you have to follow. You have to, like he says, you have to defend the land around the Order's castle if the townsfolk are good alignment. Otherwise, fuck them. We don't care. It's like, they're probably neutral, really, in a large group.
How do you lose honor for leading troops of the Order into a lost battle?
Because you lost.
Yeah, but you were going against odds.
You sucked. You lost. Yeah, to get into the Order, you have to win a joust against another knight in the Order. So he brings in jousting rules that we talked about, I don't know, quite a while ago now. Yeah, you can gain charisma for being a knight for like 3 years. And you get XP bonuses when you're on quests and a bunch of retainers. But yeah, you have to keep your honor up, otherwise you get kicked out. So there's a bunch of, there's a whole chart of all different things, honor things you have to keep up. And minuses. There's big minus if you betray the Order, betraying the Order or a lawful good being. So don't betray anyone. Or committing murder, robbery, and other felonies is a bad thing too, it seems. So, but yeah, it's a lot of rules to be a knight. I guess once again in AD&D, you could do this, but there's a lot of other games that do it better, like actual King Arthur games, and so. Yeah, once again, it's a lot of rules to follow that if you were in a group, I don't think they'd put up with it. You'd have to have a group of everybody in the Order. That's the only way it would work.
Yeah, because when it comes right down to it, there's a list of rules and all this stuff, and it's like, you have to do this. You'll be punished for that. You're obligated for this. And I looked, and I couldn't find a benefit to doing it.
Well, like I say, if you're in the Order for 3 years, you get some charisma. And you get XP bonuses on quests, and some retainers follow you. That's it. That's the only good things about it. And yeah, I think you have to be
having
4th
the rest
level
of your
anyways.
the rest of your party push you into a river and leave you to drown because you're such a insufferable ass does not mean that in 3 years when I got
guess
charisma.
If there's a bunch of people who want to play knights, I guess that's the only thing.
My retainer will be the guy that holds 2 coconut shells and clacks them together.
Obviously, no, you have to have a horse. You have to keep. That's part of the rules too. I think you have to own a horse. So you can't. You don't even need the coconut shells. You have to own a horse.
I'll still have it that way. It sounds like there's many horses.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. It's a lot of this magazine was about chivalry, and obviously not a lot of us like chivalry. So it's I don't know. AD&D, it's I find it's much more your random people. It's harder to be organized in AD&D.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I honestly think sometimes it's hard to really incorporate a kind of realistic medieval kind of thing with so much fantasy in the way.
Yeah, it's
yeah. And I understand the magazine's doing broad strokes most of the time, so you could take the parts you like for your campaign at home and whatnot. So this wasn't this is my order of, and this is how it operates. You have to kind of okay, kind of accept it for what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're really into knights, I guess there could be a group that every single guy's like, I want to be a knight, and then you could make them part of an order.
I mean, there's definitely, it's not us. That's not to say someone else couldn't have a group that don't mind being in an order and following the kind of thing.
Well, I love playing paladins. Like I would, but I understand that the rest of the group doesn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Unless you're all into playing paladins or all
Yeah.
playing cavaliers, like you're not gonna do this.
Or a very generous, willing to, you know, all be on the same page party.
Yeah, it'd be hard. Anyways, that was my article. That was my first article, Jack. If you're trying to steal my first article.
Okay, well, I think that's it for the articles.
I think
I-
you said I could have your second article since Rob stole yours.
No, he said I could have a second article.
And he just got it.
That was my
So-
first. That was my second article.
Oh. Okay, Pat, what do you got?
All right, this will be the last one for me.
I have two, but they're real quick.
Page 53.
Cleorama.
Cleorama. I, in capital letters, love this game. We used to play this game
Really?
at Orcon every year in LA when we went. And it's probably the best game for Play-Doh usage.
Yeah.
It's the basic rules. Basically, you get a thing of Play-Doh. There's a GM or an umpire. You get a thing of Play-Doh, and you have 20 minutes to make your character or your animal, however you want to do it. And then you present it to him, and there's ways to score it. How many limbs is how many moves, and each moves is your hand span from thumb to pinky. So if you were fucking Wilt Chamberlain, you could probably move across the table. But if you were, mini-me, then your guy's not moving. So it was kind of fun in that sense that all movement was hand spans, but each hand span was different. Jack is looking at his hand. And the number of limbs, how many attacks you can get, and such. You can even save parts of the Play-Doh to remove from your body as missiles, so you can throw them. And then there's various superpowers you can get to. Like my favorite was bowl opponent. So if you hit successfully, then you can use your special power, which is take that guy's clay animal and you roll it across the floor. Because you play on a huge table, usually plastic, and then you just roll, and whatever pieces fly off is the damage that he takes.
Yeah, because
So-
in the game, you're tearing other people's guys apart. You're tearing their limbs off. You're punching them. You're doing all kinds
Yeah,
of.
there's one you can just drop them to, or use self as a missile, so you can pick yourself up and throw it. So my friend always used to just make a ball. His movement was slow, but it was max damage, and he would use himself as a missile because it was a ball. He'd just throw it at things. So it's a fun little game, and it's probably the only game where Play-Doh comes in and is actually fun.
Well, it's
So-
probably the only game that involves Play-Doh. I think that's the
Yeah.
answer.
Well, the thing is, I just remember having tons of fun. This was a evening game at the con. Everyone has a full day of hardcore gaming. Then you get down to the Cleorama pit, and then you play. What's the word? A non-brainer game of like Cleorama.
Beer and pretzels.
Yeah. So I have very fond memories of this game. This is what, and I forgot that these rules came from Dragon Magazine in my head. And I was one day, I can't even remember where we were. I think one day I was just sitting down and we were and just thinking about different cons I had done while reading Dragon Magazine. I said, I wonder where did Play-Around rules come from? And I forgot they came from Dragon, and that was a nice surprise to find them in this issue. I've now since earmarked it, and I will never forget.
Okay.
Well, clearly, neither of you had a Play-Doh Fun Factory nor the barber shop, because clearly those are the superior ways to use Play-Doh.
Oh,
But
You
this-
said they're games. They're not games. Those are
this
just.
this is a third.
This is how you use self as a missile.
That's Jack does that every day.
That's true.
Oh, the other good one is the poke, where you take your finger and you jab at that person's play animal as hard as you can, and whatever head damage you do, so it does. So you gotta be careful though, because there are guys who will miss and jab the table, and then there's a lot of
You miss a poke.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Rob.
Here's
What
a
do you
quick
got?
hit. This is a quick hit because it's funny. We're going to page 70. It's plain speaking. Oh no, sorry, 72. Not plain speaking. The Game Wizards. And the only reason this is funny is because this is a guest. It's Mike Brault. And I'd be giving this month's Game Lizards column. He says Game Lizards. So I thought it was going to be a joke like Jack makes. I expected lizards or reptiles making games, but no, they just put Game Lizards instead of
It's a
wizards.
typo.
It's a typo. I was like, oh, it's going to be a Jack joke. I was going to point it out, but it wasn't. It was an actual typo.
But it is. They're talking about Dragon Lance. I assumed it was a pun on
You think
Dragon
so?
Lance.
Dragons aren't
Game
lizards,
lizards.
so I don't know. Maybe it's not very good. If it was, not as good as your jokes, Jack. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I thank you. Why, thank you. And honestly, I'm not one to be swayed by flattery or any of the kind honeyed words. But Rob, why don't you have another go? You have another article you want to?
Yeah, just a quick one. It's page 88. It's the Marvel file. It's all Hulk's villains, pretty much, and its supporting characters. And I only wanted to bring this up because I'm currently reading Immortal Hulk, and it's a lot of these characters are in it, and it's pretty damn amazing. So if you haven't read Immortal Hulk yet, do it. Do it. That's all I want to say. It was a plug for Immortal Hulk.
Oh.
Look at Doc Samson. He's got short hair. Well, he's probably got a ponytail. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, he's a major character in Immortal
He's a
Hulk. You should read.
scientist.
Where's the big-headed green scientist guy?
The leader.
Yeah.
I'm sure the leader's an actual Marvel thing. So these are always things that aren't in Marvel published
Yeah.
adventures.
I feel like Doc Samson was fairly.
I think at the time probably it wasn't very popular. It was kind of on the outs. It's a funny
He
thing.
was he was trying to woo Banner's wife away from him with his raw charisma, so I can see why he wasn't lauded as a good example.
Doesn't the Abomination go gray at some point too?
I don't think so. Maybe because everybody went gray at some point. Abomination though is only famous because of the movie. Like nobody really talked about Abomination in the comic books too much.
Oh, I love the Abomination when I read Hulk comics.
Well, you should read Immortal Hulk. Anyways, I'm done, Jack.
Okay. So we're gonna go on to ads, as is our wont.
Jack, guess how many ads I have.
And then guess how many ads I got? You'll be surprised.
I think I better go first then, because it sounds like there's not gonna be you're gonna pick through here and show our audience every ad that was in here.
Pretty much.
I said you'd be
Hey,
surprised
look.
for me.
What page, Jack?
Okay, we're gonna do mine first to get it out of the way. Then we're gonna go to page 23 of the PDF.
It's sideways. I can't even read it.
Oh my God. Rob had kind of broached the subject earlier, so I was afeared that he had been inspired by seeing this ad. This is an ad for the Mysteries of the Unknown Time Life series books. The series of books dealing with paranormal and cryptids and
Psychic powers.
yeah, all the extraterrestrial nonsense that we all like to kind of
Earth energies.
yeah.
It's probably all about ley lines.
spoopy ghosts that we all like to
hard
convince
to read.
ourselves are
It's
real, so we
sideways.
can get a little tingle.
Why is
We
it
can
sideways?
We can pretend that the things out there that give us a little like "Ee,"
Time
as a
Life
group,
books.
but
They also
Except the
did
Crystal Skull.
well, yeah. Time Life books. They also did that other series we talked about a while ago with the fantasy and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the scary ghost thingy ones.
But it's pretty amazing.
and yeah, they were always high quality, but I remember they were quite expensive.
Yeah, but
Does it
you
say how
did
much
get
these are?
what you did get what you paid for.
I mean, it doesn't say. I don't even think it says how much this one is. I
I'm
think
sure
you
it
get.
does.
I think you get the first
$12.99.
one free or something, don't you?
No, it's $12.99, $16.99 in Canada.
So
For the
17
first,
bucks for the
but I
book.
think for the first one, doesn't it get
No,
more
and after
expensive
that-
as you go?
No, this is I'm reading it sideways, and you just pay $12.99. You keep it free for a month, and then you pay $12.99 if you want it.
It's kind of like the Columbia House of crazy
Yeah.
books. I have a feeling somebody had this series because I kind of remember some of them. So maybe in the library or I actually knew somebody had some of these.
It weren't me.
No, you had the other one.
Yeah.
We too.
I kind of remember the some of the books with the pictures on the front. Good one.
Okay, so that was my ad that I thought maybe people would like to see. Um, who has the most? How many of you got in the hopper there, Rob?
You have to guess.
No, I want to make sure that you can go back and forth, and we can do. Okay, Pat, you go first. Rob's.
I
He's
don't want
been
to play your reindeer games.
he's been
17 then.
confrontational this whole show. I don't
Oh.
know.
Interceptor.
Oh, what page?
Interceptor, page 17. We've talked about this game before and ready, but this is the cover, and I just love it. And I just wanted to point out that I love the art.
Yes, it's classic facet art
Classic Renegade Legion. I think this is actually the Renegade Legion
cover.
Interceptor cover.
It definitely looks like it.
So, just a quick shout out for that. That's all it was. I mean, we've talked about Interceptor before.
Great
The
game.
new version is good. If you don't have it, get it. If you have the old one, play the old one too.
Pat got some new ships recently.
I did get some new ships. I got the Babylon expansion.
Oh,
Babylon. There you go. My article or my ad is on page 35.
Oh,
Tell us.
that's my. I don't have any more ads, so you just finish it off now.
Talisman Dungeon. So we played Talisman a lot. This is the introduction of the whole side map, the dungeon. Classic way to play. And it's I think the dungeon or the Talisman ads are getting worse because the art used to be amazing in the ads. This one looks like the actual miniatures.
See, it's funny you say that. These are the actual player character arts that are on the standees.
yeah.
But it's the dungeon is a whole new section, and the thing it says that confused me. It says four doorway cards. There's 4 entrances to the dungeon. There's only 3 that I think of. Where's the 4th one?
It's the 2 that go to the bridges.
Yeah, which
There's the one
there
into
always.
the dungeon and the one out of the dungeon.
Yeah, there's from the city. There's 2, one to the bridge, one to the dungeon, and then
That's only if you have that expansion, though. That's a separate expansion. And where's the other? Where's the? So you count the like the beating the main boss at the end? That's an exit. That's a doorway.
Why not?
Okay. Yeah. So it's new characters. It looks like
We're also talking about this version of dungeon, not the old version of dungeon that we're seeing here. So that might be different because the board is slightly different.
Yeah.
In this,
That's why I was curious.
This is still 2nd edition Talisman. So.
And I recognize some of the characters. Others, I don't think.
I think
survived
I think the Zulu is been axed from character creation,
or the red white wizard there.
No, that's the monk.
No, the guy at the top with the looks like he's
no,
wearing
that's the cultist.
the cultist.
I don't think the cultist usually has that hat on anymore.
Well, not anymore, but that's the original art.
That's what I'm saying.
But the cultist is still there.
But definitely you can see the. Oh, I don't know if they would have the same name now either. Either way, there's a lot of changes from this to the common day.
Yes, the current iteration of Talisman.
Yes.
Fun.
Okay. Anything else, Rob?
Nope, I'm done.
Okay, look at that. A reasonable amount of articles, a reasonable amount of ads in a reasonable amount of time. I think
This might be your shortest episode ever, Jack.
Ever.
It's almost going to be on time. We've gone well over, but I think it's.
Would you like me to talk about Immortal Hulk some more to fill some time?
No, but I would like to know if you once Emil got killed and turned into radioactive dust and was incorporated into someone else, what your thoughts on that were. But we can talk about that after the show.
Mm-hmm.
We got all the time after the show.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Okay, well then that looks like that's going to be it for this episode. 125 in the bag, put in the can, put the lid on it. It's done. It's over.
Wrap it up.
Rob says at this point in time I have to do this,
Yes. Point down.
and
Like-
then yeah.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Oh yeah, that's
Keep the
it.
comments coming.
We did just mention to comment something. I forget what it was now, but comment below whatever he told you to comment about. I don't remember.
I believe it was your thoughts on
Oh.
how nights are boring.
No, I remember what it was. It was, what year did Commando come out?
Oh yeah,
Oh, very.
that's right. Someone
Very
would have
important.
commented just a date, and I'd be like, "What? Oh, I don't remember." Where
Yeah,
that
like
pertains to."
18 months from now, we'll be like, what the hell does that mean? Okay.
Was he listening to like a commando podcast or something? Is there like a talking commando?
Why would they talk about Commando? Yeah, it made no sense.
Okay, well, from Commando Time, my name's Jack.
I'm Chopper.
I'm Sully, because I was killed last.
Good last.
He lied.
I lied.
I like you, Sully.
Bye.
Bye bye.
See you later.